Pete and Gary have a good thing going for us here, don't you agree?
Yeah.
You need a podium?
I read this poem out of this book this morning by Charles Bukowski. I thought I'd read it for you because it kind of irritated me real bad. And then I'm going to read you a poem I wrote in response to it. It's called Poetry Readings. Poetry readings have to be some of the saddest things ever. The gathering of the clansmen and clans ladies, week after week, month after month, year after year, getting old together, reading on tiny gatherings, still hoping their genius will be discovered, making tapes together, discs together, sweating for applause. They are basically to and for each other. They can't find a New York publisher or one within miles, but they read on in the poetry holes of America, never daunted, never considering the possibility that their talent might be thin, almost invisible. They read on before their mothers, their sisters, their husbands, their wives, their friends, the other poets. Isn't this just wonderful? And the handful of idiots who have wandered in from nowhere. I am ashamed of them. I am ashamed that they have to bolster each other. I am ashamed of their lisping egos, their lack of guts. If these are our creators, please, please give me something else. A drunken plumber at a bowling alley, a prelim boy in a four-rounder, a jockey riding his horse through along the rail, a bartender on last call, a waitress pouring me some coffee, a drunk sleeping in a deserted doorway, a dog munching on dry bone, an elephant's flatulence in a circus tent, at 6 p.m. freeway crush, the mailman telling a dirty story, anything but these.
Boy.
Yeah. So I had to write a response to Mr. Bukowski, and it's my latest poem, by the way. I wrote it this morning. And it's called The Elephant's Flatulence. Oh Charles, I've read your words of discouragement to all those, your so-called wannabes, pouring out their souls because they love poetry and not fame. You who have no sin, cast the first stone. Sir Charles, you are not guilty of what you accuse, are you? It's been sad. When you point a finger, there are three pointing back at yourself. Tell me, Sir Charles, what publisher did you pay off to get your mediocre poetry published? Tell me, Sir Charles, which category did you fall in under? A drunken plumber in a bowling alley? A waitress pouring me coffee? A drunk sleeping in a doorway? Or an elephant's flatulence in a circus tent? Personally, I think it was the elephant's flatulence. If your poem is what poetry has come to, I think I'll quit. The people I know who read from their heart without pay. So, Sir Charles, if all of the major poets of our day think like you, I think I'll read Shakespeare. I tell you what, it's sad, I tell you what's sad, is all the self-proclaimed demigods in the world. So, Sir Charles, I do believe all those people you were talking about is you. Thank you.
Right on.
He liked it.
Another editorial comment, huh?
You don't like the fat flatulence?
That's what got me crazy. I wrote this one a couple of weeks ago. How many of y'all know where Matoka is?
Oh, yeah.
All right. This one's called, if I can find it, Carter Hill. As you come into Matoka, Carter Hill looms steep, straight up the mountain, where Charlie and Stella lived, Grandma and Grandpa, blowing the horn on the first curve to warn the car coming down the hill. Their house was on the right, beside Aunt Judy's house, about 3/4 of the way up Carter Hill. Charlie worked at Blankenship's garage, turning wrenches in the pit, under motors, rear ends, axles, and on top of motors. Stella worked at the sweet shop across from Matoka High, satisfying the desires of Sweet Tooth year after year. I remember Grandma Stella making toast in the oven. It tasted so good. The butter melted in 4 little spots on the bread. In winter, Grandpa Charlie would drive his lead sled Chrysler up the hill with chains on rear tires, when no one else could. The house had indoor plumbing, but everyone still used the outhouse. Coal stove in the living room heated the house, gravity registers in the ceiling. The house still stands along with my memories, and now Charlie and Stella sleep the sleep we all must sleep. Thank you.
All right.
Here's my gun. I think nice heckling me. This is a little spiritual poem to finish out with. It's called The Milestone. I see a milestone in my life, a memorial to the Lord. I ventured across the great chasm, the large ominous fjord. To walk a mile in Jesus' shoes is something to pursue. Without the Spirit in your life, there's nothing you can do. I follow the Master all day long, holding his gentle hand, to walk the paths that Jesus walked amid the blazing sand. We have really just begun to follow in his steps. Our blessed and wonderful Jesus dear has forgiven all our debts. I long to see another milestone, one that will carry me through, until the Lord does come again to take back me and you. Thank you.